Alright everyone, Professor Politics has made it to over 5,000 subscribers, so to celebrate, I asked you guys to give me some questions about, maybe me, the channel, just stuff in general, what have you, and you did not disappoint, so let's jump into it. Do you believe that the way we test social sciences should be a different scientific method than the ones in hard sciences? This is a fantastic question. I really like it. So, fun fact, the underlying statistical mechanics, for want of a better term, in quantitative social science papers are identical to those in the majority of hard science papers. I mean, some of my work uses hierarchical modeling and logistic regression. You see both of those in ecology and computer science respectively. Path analyses and structural equation modeling is common in psychology and in biology. Epidemiology and medical testing uses many of the same sorts of tests that you see in intro to social science methods courses. There really isn't a definite scientific method in any of these fields, but they all share the same broad patterns of inquiry. The more you study science and the philosophy of science, the more you realize that the divide isn't really between hard and soft science or quantitative versus qualitative stuff. It's more along empirical versus theoretical in very broad senses of both of those words. I don't think there's that much of a difference between a lab team looking at what happens to a mouse when you alter a gene and a lab team looking at what happens to someone's attitudes about a subject when they change the stimuli from a still image to a movie or something. Similarly, I don't really see that much of a difference between someone making a theoretical contribution and claim about social structures versus those of subatomic ones. I mean, they're obviously different in subject matter and in how they articulate their findings, but the underlying logic of how they answer those questions and how they go about trying to understand the truth of the matter is pretty dang similar. So no, I don't think that we should test social sciences differently. I think that we should continue to question how we understand things in STEM and social fields generally, which is one of the many reasons why philosophy is important, but the conclusions from that question should be applied to all knowledge-seeking pursuits, not just social science specifically. I would like more videos with Asia the cat. Alright, you know what? Fine. Hold on, give me a sec. Alright, this is Asia. I've had her since 2014. She is very sassy and also very sweet. I just got her from the closet. She was napping, kind of camouflaged in some of the darker laundry, so she looks like she wants to get down. I'm gonna let her. Oh, there she goes. Alright, there you go. Fun fact, she also likes to sit on my computer as I edit things and represents probably 60% of my lost productivity. Where did you learn karate? I'm Sicilian! I use a lot of hand gestures! What's a political issue that you've done a complete 180 on? Ooh, that's a good one. Going right for the throat. I can respect that. So I've got more than a few, but I think off the top of my head, gay marriage is definitely one. I've always identified myself as a conservative, although as I've gotten older and have learned more about issues and about myself, my definition of conservatism has shifted pretty far away from how many on the right will see it now. Instead of seeing conservatism as defining a bundle of issue positions, I now see it more like an outlook on life and how much the federal government should play a role in it. It can boil down to be cautious but open-minded. Follow the evidence. Keep government away from things that affect me as an individual, but invite it as a partner when issues impact the whole and can't be solved otherwise. And that's caused me to do a pretty radical shift in many issues. So when I was first introduced to the idea of gay marriage when I was in middle school or something, I was against it. I thought homosexuality was unnatural. Then I learned that many other animals exhibit homosexual tendencies and that homosexuality was accepted in many other cultures across time. I thought that marriage was between a man and a woman, but then I learned that marriage is fundamentally a social construct. I thought that kids needed a paternal and a maternal figure in their lives, and I learned that kids really just need stability, structure, and love. And that can come from a mom and a dad, single moms, single dads, and a mom and a dad, whatever. I realized that other people's happiness doesn't negatively impact me, but only really increases the sum total of joy in this world, which is something I think we all should strive for. I think that institutions of faith have a right to say, this doesn't jive with us, we won't marry you here, but I think that government as a secular institution has no real right to push a particular interpretation of religion and or spirituality on us. Again, that's harkening back to the idea that government shouldn't involve itself in things that are individual choices. It took some time, but by the time that Obergefell came around, I think around 2015, I was definitely pro-gay marriage for a little while, and I also celebrated that ruling. What's your position on Florida's Amendment 4? So Amendment 4 is a proposed constitutional constitutional amendment that will give felons who weren't convicted of violent offenses the right to vote immediately after their release. It would repeal a current constitutional amendment in Florida that makes it illegal for anyone who's convicted of a felony to vote. I'm personally in favor of it and plan on voting for it this November. For one, if you look back on why it was passed in the first place, like back in the 1860s, I believe, it was done to target newly enfranchised blacks and prevent them from voting. And that's not like my interpretation of it. That was openly admitted by advocates at the time. So its history is pretty fouled up, and its current implementation isn't exactly issue-free either. John Oliver has a pretty fantastic video that came out a couple of weeks ago on the topic. I recommend taking a look at that. On top of that, I believe that people shouldn't be punished for things like marijuana possession or other non-violent offenses for the rest of their lives. They were already punished. They went to prison. I don't trust the judgment of someone who's done illegal things. Yeah, well, I don't like the judgment of people who get all of their political information from cable news talk shows and email chains, but that's the double-edged sword of democracy. Can you describe the materialist dialectic? Nope! I could explain historical materialism decently, but my knowledge of theory, especially kind of like Marxist theory, stops dead at dialectics. I honestly need to read Hegel. He's on my list. Do you guys have any good recommendations of books or things that I can kind of get an introductory level to? If you do, please let me know down in the comments. It's honestly been on my to-read list for a while. Alright, last one, another one from Knowing Better. How fast do you talk? You know what, I'm going to change up that question from how fast do you talk to how fast can you talk? And since everyone has been making rap god jokes since the frickin' Rick and Morty video, you know what? Summa lama duma lama yuma suman, I'm a human, what I gotta do to get it through you, I'm superhuman, innovative, animated rubber, so that anything you say is ricocheting off immediately gluteal, I'm devastating more than ever, demonstrating how to give a mother audience, you feeling like it's levitating, never fading, and under the hazer forever waiting for the day they can say I fell, fully celebrating, cause there's no way to get it motivated, I make elevating music, you make elevating music. That's how fast I can talk. Don't worry, it's an OtterBox and the floor is carpeted. This video is brought to you by OtterBox. So I've always been able to talk fast. My father's childhood nickname for me was Motormouth, and then debate happened where I learned to both slow down when I'm talking normally, but also speed up when there's a lot of ground that's needed to be covered. I'm trying to talk slower for the videos, but I just talk quickly, naturally. Even when there's no camera or script in front of me, I'm just a very excited person. I get very excited about the stuff I'm talking about. I find a lot of just joy in what I'm doing. So yes, I'll try to slow down, but I'm just a naturally fast talker. And that does it for the 5K subscriber Q&A video. This was fun. We'll definitely do this again if the channel manages to make it to 10K subscribers. Maybe we'll do it in a live stream format, but I don't know. But we'll definitely do this again if we manage to hit that mark. Thank you guys for all of your support. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I hope you consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you want to support the channel in general, you can do so by commenting down below, by sharing this video, and by subscribing to the channel, staying in the loop for more awesome social science content is uploaded. If you want to be guaranteed to be in the loop when I upload a new video, be sure to click the bell icon as well. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.